Okay, now I'll be doing two more questions and then moving on to the next part. So let's take a look at this question. One thing you need to note is in this case we have two different components of a circle. So AQB is one circle and ARB is another circle, part of another circle. So you need to know which you need to know which center the circle aligns to. So in this case, they told you that AQB is a minor arc with a center O. Okay, so don't get confused that the center O is for ARB. So always read the question and take note of this. And then they give you that the radius is 17 cm. Then you're also given that ARB is a semicircle with AB as a diameter and P is the center point. Okay, so OPB is a right angle triangle and POB is 59 degrees. So again, if it's right angle, the first thing that should come to your mind is trigo. Yes, correct. Okay. So find the length of AB. So they want you to find this length. And if you find PB, PB is equals to half AB, correct? So you can use trigo to find PB. So now let's draw the triangle. So you have this triangle and then use sine to find PB. Okay, so you should actually get 14.57. Okay, so once you find PB, you can find AB, which is AB equals to 2 times PB. Okay, so your part 1 is done. Then part 2, they ask you to find the perimeter of a shaded region. So your perimeter, okay, so your perimeter consists of AQB and A ARB. Okay, so your ARB is basically half times circumference of semicircle. Then this is your uh minor arc. So always identify what is what. So your AQB is simple, just plug the formula. So your AQB is basically 108 over 360 times uh times 2 pi r. Okay, so yeah, just use the formula and then you will get 35.01. And then your ARB, okay, your ARB, you have found out that APB is your diameter. Okay, so you have found out that APB is your diameter and PB is your radius, right? So your ARB is basically half your circumference. ARB equals to half times 2 pi r. Okay, so half times the 2 cancels off times pi and your radius is PB. Okay, so your answer is just pi times PB. Okay, so if you see below, it should be pi times 14.57, which is found earlier. So it gives 45.77. So your perimeter is actually equals to ARB plus AQB, which is equals to 80.8 cm. Okay, so this is your final answer. Okay, so that marks this question, and please again do take a look at it again. Try it out yourself, then only you will know. You'll be able to internalize the concepts. Okay, so now let's try this question. Okay, so I believe that this diagram is actually very common for this chapter, and yeah, you're probably gonna see this a few times. It can seem quite complicated, but just practice a few times. I think 1 or 2 times you should be able to get a grasp of this. Okay, so this basically consists of two congruent triangles. So the two congruent ones would be APB and sorry OPR and OQR. Okay, So yeah, and the question tells you that the radius is 26 cm and these two triangles are congruent. And they also give you that OPR and OQR are 90 degrees. So remember 90 degrees, if you ring a bell that, it's most likely trigo. Okay? It's not always, but most likely. Okay, so the length, they ask you to find the length of QR. Okay, so isolate the triangle, draw the right angle. Where's my pen? Okay, so if you draw the right angle, you have this triangle, and then uh, so your first step is to find your ROQ. So ROQ is basically half of 138 because they are both congruent triangles. Okay? So you just divide 138 by 2 and you'll find that angle. So that should give you 69 degrees or 69 degrees. Okay? Yeah. So once you find ROQ, you can use Trigo to find the length of QR. So in this case, um, you have you have your adjacent, you're trying to find opposite, so use tangent, okay? So tangent theta, so in this case theta is equal to 69. Tangent 69 is equals to RQ over 26. So RQ is equals to 26 tangent 69. So once you find that, you have found QR, so your first part is done. And then your next part, they are asking you to find the perimeter of a shaded region. So your perimeter consists of RQ plus RP, and RP is the same as RQ since they are both congruent triangles, and this minor arc which is PQ. Okay? So again, PQ just plug in the formula which is 138 over 360 times 2 pi r. So in this case, your r is 26, uh, and then you will get PQ, and your perimeter is just sum of all of them. Okay? So quite a straightforward question. Don't get when you see this kind of diagrams, just treat it like a normal question and go ahead with it, and then yeah, eventually, once you start doing it, you'll be able to understand. Okay. Okay. Now next move on to the next concept, which is area of a sector. So area of a sector very similar. So previously, um, length of an arc, we look at perimeter of a circle. So area of a sector, you look at area of a circle. So for that, you need to know the formula of area of circle, which is pi r square. Okay. So again, area of a sector. So this area. So this is a minor arc, minor sector. So if you want to find out this area, is the ratio of this angle to the entire circle. So it's the same concept. So let's say the angle given is 45 degrees and the radius is 15. So it's just 45 over 360 times pi r square. So only this component changes. Okay, the rest stays the same. So this gives rise to the formula theta over 360 times pi r square. Okay, so previously this was 2 pi r, now is pi r square. So exactly the same, just from perimeter becomes area. Okay, again, the radian portion, I'll cover it later. So, let's say you're given this diagram and the question is asking you to find the major segment. So your major segment is basically all this portion, okay? Yeah. So if you want to find the area of major segment, it is basically 360 minus 45 degrees. You find this angle, okay? And then over 360 times pi r square. So this would be my first method. Or you can find the minor sector and then your total area of a circle minus this minor sector. Okay. I prefer this method because it's shorter. Okay. So yeah, this is it for area. It's almost the same concept. So now let's look at one question. Yeah, no, two questions. Okay. So you are given this diagram, and the question is asking you to find um asking you to show A or B. Okay, so do note that normally we are given the angle, and then we are told to find the length of a minor arc. But in this case, your length is given, arc length is given, and they ask you to find angle. Okay, so same concept, just need to work backwards. Okay, so first step is AOB over 360 times 2 pi r, which gives you 33. Okay, so this angle over 360 times 2 pi r would give you 33. Okay, so now you just work backwards, and then yeah, again, if you type this in calculator, you should get 126.1 degrees. Okay, I'm not gonna type it. And then the next part, they're asking you to find the area of your major sector. Okay, take a note. Note this, major sector is no longer minor sector. So once it's since it's major, it is 360 minus 126.1 over 360 times 2 pi. Sorry. Since it's area, it is pi times 15 square. So this should give you your final answer. Okay. So again, same concept. It's just theta over 360 times pi r square area. Okay, so yeah, let's try out one more question. So again, this kind of diagrams are very common for this chapter. So get used to these diagrams. Yeah, the more practice you do, the more familiar you get. So in this question, they ask you to find angle BAD. Okay, this is a tricky question. I want you to note how it's done. Okay, so you're given that we can see this trapezium, and then AD, yeah, AD is parallel to BC. So this is 7.